Hamas's top political leader was killed Wednesday by a pre-dawn airstrike in the Iranian capital, Iran and the militant group said, blaming Israel for a shock assassination that risked escalating into an all-out regional war. Iran's supreme leader vowed revenge against Israel. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said Israel will exact a very heavy price from any aggression against us on any front, but did not mention the killing. There are challenging days ahead, he added. Israel had pledged to kill Ismail Haniyeh and other Hamas leaders over the group's Oct. 7 attack on southern Israel that sparked the war in Gaza. The strike came just after Haniyeh had attended the inauguration of Iran's new president in Tehran, and hours after Israel targeted a top commander in Iran's ally Hezbollah in the Lebanese capital, Beirut. The assassination was potentially explosive amid the region's volatile, intertwined conflicts because of its target, its timing, and the decision to carry it out in Tehran. Most dangerous was the potential to push Iran and Israel into direct confrontation if Iran retaliates. The US and other nations scrambled to prevent a wider, deadlier conflict. In a statement on his official website, Iranian Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei said, "Revenge was our duty, and that Israel had prepared a harsh punishment for itself by killing a dear guest in our home." Bitter regional rivals, Israel and Iran risked plunging into war earlier this year when Israel hit Iran's embassy in Damascus in April. Iran retaliated, and Israel countered in an unprecedented exchange of strikes on each other's soil. But international efforts succeeded in containing that cycle before it spun out of control. Haniyeh's killing also could prompt Hamas to pull out of negotiations for a ceasefire and hostage release deal in the 10-month-old war in Gaza, which US mediators had said were making progress. And it could inflame already rising tensions between Israel and Hezbollah, which international diplomats were trying to contain after a weekend rocket attack that killed 12 young people in the Israeli-controlled Golan Heights. Israel carried out a rare strike Tuesday evening in the Lebanese capital that it said killed a top Hezbollah commander allegedly behind the rocket strike. Hezbollah, which denied any role in the Golan strike, confirmed the death of Fuad Shukur on Wednesday, saying he was in the building that was hit. The strike also killed 3 women and 2 children, according to the Lebanese Health Ministry. White House National Security spokesman John Kirby said there was no sign that an escalation is imminent in the Middle East, and that a ceasefire agreement for Gaza was still possible. He also said the US could not independently confirm reports of what occurred in Tehran. A key question is whether Israel told the US, its top ally, ahead of time. Asked about Haniyeh's killing, US Secretary of State Antony Blinken said, "This is something we were not aware of or involved in." Speaking to Channel News Asia, Blinken said he would not speculate about the impact on ceasefire efforts. The UN Security Council held an emergency meeting Wednesday to discuss the strikes with Iran and Israel, each pressing the Council to condemn the other. But the UN's most powerful body issued no collective message after the meeting. The Council's 15 members variously warned that the Middle East was at a precarious point, worried about potential escalation, called for restraint and diplomacy, and pointed fingers along long-standing fault lines. Khalil al-Hayya, a powerful figure within Hamas who was close to Haniyeh, told journalists in Iran that whoever replaces Haniyeh will follow the same vision regarding negotiations to end the war and continue in the same policy of resistance against Israel. Hamas's main consultative body was expected to meet soon, likely after Haniyeh's funeral Friday in Qatar, to name a successor. A Hamas statement said a funeral service will be held in Tehran on Thursday, with Muslim funeral prayers on Friday in Doha, followed by his burial in Lusail, Qatar's second-largest city. U.S. Secretary of Defense Lloyd Austin said he still had hopes for a diplomatic solution on the Israeli-Lebanon border. "I don't think that war is inevitable," he said. "I think there's always room and opportunity for diplomacy, and I'd like to see parties pursue those opportunities."